Beliefs are the very root of the war that's going on in the world. Everything that is very discordant, everything that's like, fuck, dude, the world. Fuck, the world. Damn, why is the world so fucked up? Look around you. Wars going on. Injustices. Fuck. The root of this is belief. Unfounded beliefs. Unverified beliefs. But beliefs that people think are not beliefs, but the truth. Honestly, man, I don't actually know how people conceive of beliefs. Do people think beliefs are true? Do people think there are some beliefs that are true and some that are not? Because to me, it's so obvious to me now that no belief is true. No belief is true. Every belief is an unfounded assumption that is just a tool to use to navigate life, to get things done, right? You believe in things to create something, to operate in life, to do whatever you want to do. Doesn't mean it's true, right? So all the fucked up shit that's going on in the world is due to people believing in ideas to be the truth. Of course, there's I believe this to be the truth. This is what's true. Then someone else comes up and goes, no, you are absolutely wrong. I've got the truth. And then it's like, no, but I'm the one that's I've got the truth. No, I've got the truth. And then it's like, you're offending the truth. You're offending my truth. You're threatening the truth. Therefore, I'm going to be against you. And there's this enemies. We fabricate this sense of an enemy with anyone who doesn't align with what we think is the true way of being in the world, the right way of being in the world, the correct way of being, the correct way of seeing, It's like, here's my idea of God, here's my idea of what matters, and someone over there is says that this is baloney, and they don't give a shit about what I think God is, what I think truth is, what I think's right. Therefore, you are my opponent, my enemy. Mate, it's so fucking childish. And I understand, there are parts in the world where people haven't got the there's this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's basically, a hierarchy of survival needs, right? I can't remember exactly what the hierarchy has, but it's basic. It's first of all, you need water, right, to survive. Then you need some food. Then you need roof over your head, some warmth, and maybe a sense of belonging and self-esteem. Then maybe you need a purpose. And then, your self-actualization or whatever. Yeah, in the Western world, where I am at, in Australia, it's like, yeah, I've got everything, mate. Like I had everything from an early age, I'm very blessed. So I started, self-actualizing, really. That's just well, I've got everything, It's like, got parents, food, water, roof over my head, warmth. I go to school, hang out with friends, and then it's like, okay, I create projects and shit, and then it's like, self-actualization and whatever. Some parts of the world, mate, it's a fucking struggle to get water and food, you know what I mean? And if I'm being honest with you, I don't actually know much about what's going on in the world, because I'll get into what I think about this, but I don't really know what's going on in the world, I don't look at politics, I don't look at news. I hear from other people what's going on in the world, I don't need to know everything. Do you need to know everything? Maybe you need to know a little bit, if you're interested in it. But honestly, mate, it just makes you if it makes you angry, if it makes you negative, that's doing a disservice to yourself and the rest of the world. So, what am I trying to say? We're all just fighting for survival, right? We want to live, really. It's just very animalistic. You know, yeah. Yeah, it's just fighting for survival, man. We're still fucking animals, you know. A lot of parts in the world where it's just very still animalistic, you know. It's a low level of consciousness, simply because there are some parts in the world where it's not developed like the Western world. It's a struggle to get food and water and shit, you know. And so all the wars and shit going on or whatever, it's just survival, you know, just like a lion hunting down a gazelle or whatever. So is it wrong in that sense? It's like, well, yeah, it's like we can see the possibility of what things could be, you know. Like here we are, like in this Western world, you know, a lot of freedom, a lot of you know, a lot of our survival needs met. So there's a possibility. Like, I mean, we have all the resources, all the technology, all the willpower, all the mental fortitude, all the kindness and generosity of the heart. We have that, man. Like, people have accessed that. Like, we have it. We've proved that we can do that. But we don't use that and spread it out into the rest of the world. But we could. But nevertheless, I don't know, man. Anyway, I went to the gym this morning. As I was walking back, there was this whole parade of, you know, like a free Palestine, what do you call it? Protest. And it's just interesting watching it, man. I don't really know what to say about it. What I want to kind of say is that these people that are so engrossed in politics and so engrossed in the news and what's happening on the other side of the world and all this, are you, like, I see so many people being so concerned with what's going on in the world because their lives are so meaningless, you know? Like, this is kind of hard to explain. It's a kind of sensitive topic for most as well. But we, in this world where we've got everything, this Western world where we've got everything covered, we just start fucking about with identity and prioritizing our own identity and what beliefs and opinions we hold. And we become so righteous in having like the right morality, the right viewpoint, and we become angry, you know, it's like, you know, yes, I'm so righteous, I see the suffering in the world, you know, that's my identity, I'm the right one, everybody else is wrong. But I see, like, with people that are protesting and so concerned with what's happening in the world and politics and that, a lot of people that are like this are very bitter, very angry. And that does no service to yourself and to the rest of the world. And like, you think by like being righteous about the suffering in the world is putting food in the bellies of starving children. But it's not, man. You think like, yes, I'm so right because I see all the injustice in the world. That makes me like, I'm, you know, doing good. But it's like, what are you actually doing to serve humanity? What are you actually doing? Are you just having this opinion, you know? It's like, I support this. I don't support that. It's like, well, are you actually supporting? Like, just by having a belief or a righteous, moral, whatever, doesn't mean you're supporting anything. You're not actually doing anything. You're not doing anything. Here's what I think. People are so concerned with what I've just said, right? It's like, you know, they're so gung-ho about equality and kindness. But these kinds of people that are so gung-ho about equality and kindness and ecology and all that, a lot of them I see are very, they're negative, you know? They go around just, how do I kind of explain this? Because I used to be like this, you see. When I started getting into like spirituality and this whole kind of thing, the first kind of thing that I was focusing on was, like this, like kind of, I was concerned with like global warming, and I was concerned with like, you know, it's like, I've got to be vegan now. And I still am vegan, but it's like, whatever. Just concerned with all this kind of stuff. And like, again, like, be concerned with this stuff, sure. But if it's to your detriment, if it makes you bitter and angry, it's like, no, man, you're going about it the wrong way. Like, this is what I want to say, right? Start with where you're at, right? You live in a town. You have a neighborhood. Start there, right? You're not going to be able to change something on the other side of the world. You know, are you even capable, say, you know, flying over to another part of the world and serving like a fucking war-torn country in some way, serving these people? You'd probably be too fucking scared too traumatized to do that. But you think like, oh yeah, but no, I'm so, you know, right, and because I see that it's bad and whatever. But it's like, what are you actually doing? What are you doing? Like, just holding beliefs and opinions about what's right and wrong doesn't fucking do shit. It's like, oh, look what's happening in the world. It's like, yeah, okay, what are you gonna do about it? Sitting there being angry about it is it's not just doing nothing, it's actually doing something negative, right? So anyway, what I'm trying to say here is like, start with where you're at. Like, most likely you know, you have to start, it's hard to explain. Start with where you're at, right? Spread your positivity out into the world. Like, what do you want? Okay, so you're here for equality, you're here for kindness, you're here for, you know, the opening of the heart. You know, it's like, we're all one in this together. Why are we fighting? Why are we at war? Okay, why are we at war? Okay, well, as you go about your day, are you walking past people and judging people? Are you going like, this person doesn't wear the kind of clothes that I would like them to wear? This person doesn't have the beliefs that I think, you know, this person doesn't care about politics, therefore, you know, they're stupid and I don't like them. It's like, you are literally still in that war mode. You are no different to what you're opposing, right? It's like, look at all this injustice and war in the world. But it's like, do you see within yourself how you are creating that war? So how can you say that you're so righteous, you know? Like, see that this is human nature, man. We are still animals. We have this dualistic, you know, tribe mentality, us and them, right? See that within yourself and reconcile that within yourself, solve that within yourself, right? That's, see, because this is how we're going to change everything. This, you see, the injustice and war and shit, yeah, there's practical, physical things that we need to do, okay? But ultimately, on the absolute sense, how we're going to fix it is if every individual goes inwards and fixes that split in themselves, that anger in themselves, that war in themselves. The mind attacks the mind, like, and other people, like. So it's like, like, you're so concerned with what's happening in the world and the war and the injustice. But then it's like, do you get angry in your own life with other people in your life? It's like, do you walk out of your house and then like you see your neighbor walk out of their house? Do you just like put your head down and just like not notice them? It's like, if you're about equality and whatever else, it's like, bro, start with where you're at. Turn your head, say hello. This is where it's at, man. This is where it's at. You see, this is how it changes. Because there's the butterfly effect. Everything ripples out, right? So start in your home, then start in your neighborhood, and then start in your town. You have to start with where you're at and expand outwards. It's like, you can't expect to just like solve the wars going on if you can't even solve the war in your own head or in your own home, in your own family, in your own friendship, in your own neighborhood and community. Like, do you understand this, man? And I don't see enough people talking about this, because what I get labeled as from other people, people like me that think like this, I get labeled as ignorant, foolish. Just like, well, yeah, but you don't even know what's going on in the world, so you don't have any say in this. And it's like, you're foolish for not knowing or wanting to know what's happening in the world. It's like, yeah, but I'm bringing more kindness to my community. And what are you doing? Head down, earphones in, listening to negative music about how fucked up the world is. It's bringing your spirit down. And what do you actually want? This person that's like all about equality and kindness. It's like, that's what we want, man. That's what you want. You want the spirit to be lightened up, right? It's like, people get so negative in the name of positivity. Do you see how fucked up that is? People are trying to stop hate in the world with hating it. Do you see how nonsense that is? It's like, look at all this hate that's going on in the world. I hate that. That's adding more hate, mate. That's adding more war. And what I'm talking about here, I'm sure, is not the full entire picture. It's not everything. Sure, there's lots of other things, lots of other people's opinions that matter about this whole kind of subject matter. But this, what I'm expressing here, is what I don't really hear spoken about, like, really much at all. And so this is my role to play. Like, we all have a role, maybe being a politician is genuine for someone's role, get inside the game, try and change it from within. That's not my role. For me, this is my role. You have to be honest with what your role is, that is actually going to genuinely serve the most positivity. Do you know what I mean? And, no role is greater or worse than other people. Someone's role may be going in a cave in the fucking Himalayan mountains, meditating for decades on end. And you may think it's like, well, that's not serving humanity. That's just someone leaving humanity. But it's like, no, they have a weight on the earth. They are still human, and whatever they're doing in that meditation, whatever they're doing is serving humanity. It's like, how could that be serving humanity? They're not even doing anything in the world. But it's like, their energy is still happening in the world, you know. And if that's what they genuinely feel called to, if that's what feels like the most thing, if that what feels like is serving the most, you know, it's like how there is no difference between someone meditating in a cave for decades and someone becoming a politician trying to change the world or whatever. If both people are doing so because that's their innate calling, coming from the heart, coming from, like, that's what their conditioning requires of them. Do you know what I mean? So we can all do great work, and great work doesn't necessarily mean you have to be doing so much. You know, perhaps just sitting in your room and reconciling this war in your head is doing so much. And maybe people perceive that as being lazy. It's like, what are you actually doing in the world? You know, you're just sitting down doing nothing. No, but if you're solving that war in your head, you are doing great work, man. Because then when you go out into the world, you're not like causing suffering. Do you know what I mean? So a lot of like people that are, and again, this is just a broad generalization. This is not like everyone, but what I tend to see is a lot of people that are so concerned with politics and all this kind of stuff. Really, they're concerned with identity. They're concerned with themselves. They think they're being selfless, but it's actually very selfish. It's like, look at me. Look how selfless I am. Look how selfless I am. I'm so selfless. I'm so righteous. This ego, and that's what we're trying to solve. You see, ego is what causes war, and ego is within, right? Solve the ego within, you solve the war without, right? As within, so without. Wait, is that how it goes? I don't know. As above, so below. As within, so without. So what I see with people that are so concerned with this kind of stuff, yeah, they're really just concerned with their identity, you know. And again, I used to be like this, you know. It's like, look, here I am. I am for this and I am against this, you know. Look how fucked up the world is. I know how fucked up the world is. Therefore, I am better than other people who don't know how fucked up the world is. It's like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? You're not better. And that's still causing the war. You know, it's like, here I am, like, voting the good political party, therefore, and all those other people are voting the bad political party, therefore I'm the better one. It's like, do you not see how you're still creating the war? You're still in separation. You're still in inequality. You're still in opposition. You're still in belief. You're still in, here's what I think is better, you know. Because what I think is that every person's view about the world, there's some nugget of truth in there. Every person's view of how they think things should be, right? Try and understand them. Like, how did they come to this conclusion? Don't just say, you're fucking wrong. Like, do you not see how that's causing suffering? My way is the right way. Think about this. It's like, understand me, understand me. No, seek to understand. Don't seek to be understood, right? And it's not easy work because you have to put your ego aside. And that is fearful because you identify with this ego. I mean, ego is just identification, but you're identifying with these beliefs and opinions. To set that aside, you're setting aside your whole entire self, your whole entire reality. So it's not easy to do, but man, this is what we need to do. And as I was watching this parade, this protest of Free Palestine today. I'm just watching people, and like most people don't even want to be there. Most people are looking miserable. You know, there's people, you know, like the leaders with like one of those microphones. I don't know what they're called, gramophones, or what are they fucking called? I don't know. You know, and you know they've got the heart, they've got the soul there, right? But everybody else, it's like a chant. You know, it's like "Free Palestine" or whatever, and they, you know, do stuff. They got drums and shit, and then everyone, you know, like repeats it. You know. But a lot of people, they're just like looking miserable, and they're just mouthing the words. They're not really, they haven't got this like vigor, this shout, like, yeah, I really stand for this, rah, you know, like, yes, let's make a change in the world. Let's free Palestine or whatever. This like soulful, rah, yes. And yeah, it just isn't there. And because people just hop on the bandwagon of doing what is right. You know, it's like, oh, you know, everybody's saying that, you know, free Palestine and whatever. Okay, you know, that seems to be the good thing. Okay, I will hop on that bandwagon so I am perceived as, you know, right, so people don't criticize me, people don't ostracize me. You know, but are you thinking for yourself? You know, again, I don't know much about what's actually going on. But are you thinking for yourself, or are you just hopping on the bandwagon of just doing what everybody else says is the most moral and ethical thing? Because you don't want to get perceived as bad, wrong. You don't want to be ostracized from society, right? And again, I want to talk about, you know, bringing it back to, you know, start with where you're at, because people in this protest, you know, they're like, you know, they're coming at this because they think they care, right? But it's like, how much care is within you? There's a lot of people that are just like overweight, you know, or just like looking miserable. It's like, again, start with where you're at. Like, are you even brushing your teeth in the morning, man? Are you caring for yourself? Are you eating the right food for yourself? Are you nourishing your body so you've got the energy to act and be good in the world? Or are you like filling up your body with bullshit? And then you go out into the world and you feel so sluggish, and you got no energy to fucking change the world in the ways that you want it to be changed. It's like, this all matters. It's like just having a belief about being so righteous about, you know, what's good and bad. It's like, but you're not even caring for your own body and mind, right? You're like scrolling on social media, getting angry, you're eating junk food, feeling fucking lethargic and just not good. And it's like, if you can't even care for your body, man, if you can't even care for your body, how are you gonna care? Like, how are you gonna care for other people's bodies on the other side of the world, mate? Again, it's like this Jordan Peterson, like, clean your room. It's true, man. It's like, if you can't even clean your own room, and your room's so fucking messy, how do you expect to clean up a fucking whole entire country or whatever, and to fix this mess? It's like, you can start with where you're at. Clean up your environment, clean yourself, clean. Do you know what I mean, mate? Like, you have to start with yourself. And you build that foundation, and then you can expand outwards, right? Care for your body, care for your immediate environment, your room, go out into the world, care for your neighbors, care for your community. Try and build something in your community that's positive. You can then branch out, maybe whatever. And I'm not perfect in this whatsoever, you know, I'm very introverted, but I still make the effort of being like, okay, we're all human in this together. I want to spread positivity. I don't want to add suffering to the world. And, you know, again, it's not always easy, because, you know, you wake up in the morning sometimes and you just, you know, you had a dream or some shit and you feel like just down bad, and you go out into the world and you got your head down or whatever. It's like, yeah, you have to make the effort though. You know, what do you want to add to the world? How do you want to show up in the world? Because that matters, man. Right? Being down bad in the world with your head down, in ear pods in, listening to how fucked up the world is, and then thinking that you're so good because you think the world is so fucked up and everybody else doesn't know how fucked up it is, therefore you're good. It's like, mate, you're doing a disservice in the name of service. You're being contradictory, right? Fill up your spirit, nourish your body, your mind, nourish this. And then emanate that into the world. That ripples out. Okay? So I hope you got some value from this. Show up in the world, mate. And if you want to help ripple out this positivity, come join our online community, The Truth Playground. Click the top link in the description. You can come join. And please like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. Share this video if you think that'll help someone else out. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.